8-year-old Lily Ann Carter had been living with her foster parents, David and Maria Rodriguez, for 3 years when a routine genetic test ordered by her pediatrician to investigate her recurring respiratory issues revealed results that would shatter everything everyone thought they knew about her identity. The test results, which Maria was reviewing with Dr. Jennifer Walsh at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, contained a genetic marker match that seemed impossible. According to the DNA analysis, Lily was a direct blood relative of Taylor Swift. Before we dive into this family mystery that shocked the world, I need to ask you something. If stories about hidden family connections and the power of genetic truth to reunite lost relatives matter to you, please hit that subscribe button right now. These stories take weeks to investigate and verify, and your subscription helps us continue uncovering the family secrets that remind us all that sometimes the most important relationships are the ones we never knew existed. Now, back to Lily's incredible discovery. Mrs. Rodriguez, I need to ask you something unusual about Lily's background, Dr. Walsh said, studying the genetic report with obvious confusion. These results show a familial DNA match with someone quite prominent. Are you aware of any connection between Lily's biological family and the Swift family? Maria Rodriguez looked at Dr. Walsh in bewilderment. I'm sorry, what do you mean the Swift family? We were told that Lily's biological mother died during childbirth and that no other family members were available to care for her. We don't know anything about her genetic background beyond basic medical history. What neither Maria nor anyone else in Lily's life knew was that her biological mother, Anna Katherine Swift, had been Taylor Swift's younger half-sister, a family secret that had been buried so deeply that even Taylor herself had no idea Lily existed. Anna had been born when Taylor was 16, the result of a brief relationship that Taylor's father, Scott Swift, had during a temporary separation from her mother. The relationship had been short-lived and kept extremely private to protect Taylor's rising career from tabloid speculation about family drama. Anna had grown up largely separate from Taylor's life, raised by her mother in a different state with minimal contact with the Swift family. When Anna became pregnant at 19, she had made the devastating decision to keep the pregnancy secret from everyone, including the baby's father and her own family. She was struggling with addiction issues and mental health problems, and she believed that revealing the pregnancy would only bring shame to her family and potentially damage Taylor's career, which was reaching new heights of success. Anna had given birth to Lily in a small hospital in Ohio under an assumed name, planning to place the baby for adoption immediately, but complications during delivery had led to Anna's unexpected death from postpartum hemorrhaging, leaving behind a newborn daughter with no identified family and incomplete medical records that listed only Anna Carter as the mother, Anna having used her mother's maiden name to maintain anonymity. Lily had entered the foster care system as an infant with no known relatives, and her case had been handled through a small county agency that had no reason to investigate potential connections to prominent families. For 8 years, she had been a ward of the state, eventually placed with the Rodriguez family, who had grown to love her as their own daughter, while knowing virtually nothing about her biological heritage. The genetic test that revealed Lily's true parentage had been ordered purely for medical reasons. Lily had been experiencing frequent respiratory infections, and Dr. Walsh had wanted to screen for genetic conditions that might be contributing to her health issues. The test had been processed through a database that included genetic profiles from various sources, including some that had been voluntarily submitted by celebrities for medical research purposes. Taylor Swift had submitted her DNA to a genetic research database 2 years earlier as part of a study on hereditary health conditions that affected musicians, particularly those related to vocal cord function and hearing. Her participation had been kept confidential, but her genetic profile remained in the research database for ongoing medical studies. When Lily's DNA was processed, the system had flagged a familial match that indicated she shared approximately 25% of her genetic markers with Taylor Swift, the percentage consistent with an aunt-niece relationship. Dr. Walsh, Maria said, still struggling to process what she was being told, "Are you saying that Lily might be related to Taylor Swift, the singer?" According to this genetic analysis, Lily appears to be Taylor Swift's niece. Dr. Walsh replied carefully. This would suggest that one of Taylor's siblings is Lily's biological parent. I understand this is shocking news, but we have a legal obligation to report this finding to the appropriate authorities and potentially contact Ms. Swift's representatives. The process of verifying and acting on this information took 3 weeks of careful legal and medical consultation. Taylor Swift's management team was contacted through official channels. DNA samples were retested for confirmation, and family historians were brought in to investigate possible connections between the Swift family tree and Lily's background. During this investigation period, more details about Anna Katherine Swift's life and death were uncovered. Birth records confirmed that Anna had been Scott Swift's daughter from a relationship during his brief separation from Andrea Swift in the early 2000s. Anna's mother had signed non-disclosure agreements to keep the paternity private, and Anna had grown up with minimal contact with her famous half-sister. When Taylor Swift received the official confirmation that she had an 8-year-old niece living in foster care, her world was completely upended. "I had no idea I had a sister," Taylor said during the private meeting arranged between her legal team and the Rodriguez family. "My parents never told me about Anna. I've been living my entire adult life not knowing that I had family I'd never met, and that my sister died giving birth to a daughter I could have been caring for." The meeting between Taylor and Lily took place at the Rodriguez family home in suburban Philadelphia, with social workers and legal representatives present to ensure that Lily's best interests remained the priority throughout what would obviously be a life-changing encounter. Lily, who had been told only that she was going to meet someone important who might be related to her, was playing with her toys in the living room when Taylor walked through the front door. The physical resemblance between them was immediately apparent. They shared the same bright blue eyes, similar facial structure, and most remarkably, identical hand gestures and expressions that suggested genetic connections deeper than appearance. "Lily," Maria said gently, "this is Taylor. She might be your aunt." Lily looked up at Taylor with the direct curiosity that 8-year-olds bring to meeting new people, studying her face with obvious interest. "Are you really Taylor Swift?" Lily asked. "Maria plays your music in the car sometimes." "I am," Taylor replied, kneeling down to Lily's eye level. "And I'm here because I just found out something amazing. You and I are family." What followed was one of the most emotionally complex conversations Taylor had ever experienced. She learned about Lily's life in foster care, her health issues, her love of music and art, and her deep attachment to the Rodriguez family who had been caring for her. But she also discovered something that took her breath away. Lily had a natural musical ability that was eerily similar to her own. "Do you like to sing?" Taylor asked during their conversation. "I sing all the time," Lily replied. "Maria says I have a pretty voice, but I don't know any real songs." "Would you sing something for me?" Taylor asked gently. Lily began singing, "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," but her voice carried a natural pitch accuracy and rhythmic sense that was remarkably sophisticated for an 8-year-old with no musical training. More remarkably, her vocal tone and phrasing patterns were almost identical to Taylor's own childhood singing style. "Lily, that was beautiful," Taylor said, tears forming in her eyes as she recognized genetic musical traits that she had inherited from the Swift family and that had apparently been passed down to her niece as well. The legal process of establishing Taylor as Lily's guardian was complex, but expedited due to the DNA evidence and Taylor's obvious ability to provide excellent care. The Rodriguez family, while heartbroken to lose the child they had come to love as their own daughter, supported the transition because they understood that Lily deserved to be with her biological family and would have opportunities with Taylor that they could never provide. "We'll always be part of Lily's life," Maria told Taylor during the custody proceedings. "She's our daughter too, in every way that matters except genetics. We want what's best for her, and we can see how much you already love her." Taylor's response was to ensure that the Rodriguez family remained actively involved in Lily's life. She purchased a house in Philadelphia so that Lily could maintain her relationships with David and Maria while also spending time in Nashville and New York as Taylor's legal daughter. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of their relationship was the musical connection that developed between them. Lily absorbed musical concepts with a speed and intuitive understanding that amazed even Taylor's most experienced music teachers. Within 6 months of moving in with Taylor, Lily was playing piano at an intermediate level and had begun writing simple songs that demonstrated sophisticated understanding of melody and harmony. "It's like she inherited musical DNA," Taylor marveled during an interview about their relationship. "She hears music the same way I do, feels rhythm the same way, understands chord progressions instinctively. It's not just talent, it's a genetic predisposition toward music that runs in our family." The first time Lily called Taylor Mom instead of Aunt Taylor, was during a private piano lesson 6 months after moving in together. They were working on a simple version of Love Story when Lily looked up and said, "Mom, can you show me how to play the bridge part?" Taylor stopped playing immediately, overwhelmed by hearing the word she had never expected to hear but had been hoping for since the day they met. "Say that again," Taylor said softly. "Can you show me how to play the bridge, Mom?" Lily repeated, using the word naturally and without self-consciousness. "Of course I can, sweetheart," Taylor replied, understanding in that moment that being Lily's mother was going to be the most important role of her life. The story of Lily's discovery and adoption became public when Taylor decided to share their journey as a way of advocating for foster care reform and genetic testing resources for children in the system. But she was careful to protect Lily's privacy while still using their story to highlight how many children in foster care might have biological relatives who could provide loving homes if better systems existed for connecting them. "Lily spent 8 years in foster care while I had no idea she existed," Taylor explained during testimony before a congressional committee on foster care reform. "How many other children are living as wards of the state while their biological families are searching for them or would welcome them with open arms if they knew they existed?" The Lily Swift Foundation, established to honor both Lily's journey and her biological mother Anna's memory, provides genetic testing resources for foster children, helps biological families locate children who have been placed in care, and supports the development of technology to better match children with potential relatives. 2 years after their first meeting, Lily Swift Carter, she kept Carter as part of her legal name to honor Anna, was performing alongside Taylor at select concerts, not as a public spectacle but as a natural extension of their family relationship and shared musical gifts. Their duets of The Best Day became legendary among Taylor's fans, not just for their musical beauty, but for what they represented about the power of family connections to transcend circumstances. "Every night when I tuck Lily in, I think about Anna," Taylor said in a later interview. "I think about how she gave birth to this incredible little person and never got to see the amazing human being her daughter would become. But I also believe that somehow, Anna knew that Lily would find her way to family who would love her and nurture her gifts." The bedroom in Taylor's Nashville home that had been prepared for Lily contained a small memorial corner dedicated to Anna Katherine Swift, with photographs and mementos that Taylor had gathered to help Lily understand her mother's story. Lily would often sit in that corner and sing to the photographs, creating a connection with the mother she never knew while building a relationship with the aunt who had become her mom. "I have 2 mothers," Lily would explain to people who ask about her family. "Anna, who gave me life, and Mom Taylor, who gave me everything else. They're both part of me, and I'm part of both of them." The genetic test results that had revealed Lily's true identity were eventually framed and hung in Taylor's home studio, not as a trophy, but as a reminder that sometimes the most important discoveries happen by accident, and that family connections can transcend years of separation when science and love work together to bring people home. Sometimes the most profound family reunions happen not through deliberate searching, but through the unexpected intersection of medical necessity and genetic science. Lily Carter's discovery that she was Taylor Swift's niece proved that there are children throughout the foster care system who have biological families that would welcome them with open arms if better systems existed for connecting them. Taylor's immediate decision to become Lily's mother demonstrated that family isn't just about genetics. It's about the willingness to love completely and unconditionally when DNA reveals connections we never knew existed. The most beautiful thing about their story isn't that Lily inherited Taylor's musical gifts, but that she inherited her capacity for love, resilience, and the understanding that the strongest families are often the ones that are discovered rather than the ones we're born into.